Angelus introduced the Chronographe Télémètre earlier this year. This monopusher chronograph, inspired by elements of classic 1940s chronograph design, became a highlight amongst the many introductions taking place at Watches and Wonders this year. In a market saturated with vintage-inspired watches, how does this one manage to stand out? Let's take a closer look. Whereas many chronographs on the market today look the part of their vintage predecessors, the majority don't follow suit when it comes to their movement and dimensions. Far too many of them use automatic calibers that bloat their thickness far beyond that of the watches that inspired them. The Angelus Chronographe Télémètre doesn't just talk the talk, it also delivers when it comes to its movement and dimensions. Alongside this salmon-dialed model, Angelus released a grey-dialed version, also limited to 25 pieces, as well as a yellow-gold model, limited to 15. The stainless steel case measures 37mm in diameter and stands 9.25mm thick, with a lug-to-lug of 44mm. These dimensions give the watch a vintage-correct profile that sits beautifully on the wrist. It features a box-domed sapphire crystal and a sapphire displayback, with a water resistance rating of 30 meters. Inside is the La Jouperet A5000, a hand-wound, 4.2mm thick monopusher chronograph movement that runs at 21,600 VPH. It has a 42-hour power reserve and is decorated with finishing techniques like Côte de Genève and two-tone plating. Angelus has a strong history of producing in-house monopusher calibers dating back to 1925, and though the A5000 isn't in-house, its sign bridges and decoration avoids the generic feel of many off-the-shelf calibers. But not only does the movement look good, it also provides the crown's monopusher mechanism with crisp and responsive action when starting, stopping, and resetting the chronograph. The dial, referred to by Angelus as rose bronze, has a warm salmon tone. It features 3 surface finishes with graining on the dial center, snailing on the subdials, and brushing on the outer ring featuring both the minutes and telemeter scale. Despite the dial's complexity, the result remains cohesive rather than overly busy. The applied indices are plated with black rhodium for contrast and legibility. Angelus have taken great care in selecting typography that mirrors that used in vintage chronographs. The flat-top numerals and sharp serif details give it a historically informed look. The Chronographe Télémètre doesn't leave us with much in the way of critique. Perhaps the one thing to point out, though, is that it's a very limited run, with a price to match. At 17,900 Swiss francs, it sits in relatively high-end territory, certainly within the brand's catalog. But considering what you get and the fact that it's a limited edition of just 25 pieces, it's not completely out of left field. Plus, looking at the price tag of other watches using the same movement, like the Ming 3704, the price seems to be informed primarily by what's inside. Still, it's certainly not just a casual buy. Far from it. So, has this 1940s-inspired monopusher chronograph charmed you with its perfect proportions, sharp looks, and interesting movement? Share your thoughts in the comment section below. Be sure to like the video and subscribe to Fratello for more watch content. See you next time.